New tonight, a story you'll only see on 5 on your side. What's next for St. Louis County Animal Care and Control after 19 dogs were put down during a Parvo outbreak? The vet director who signed off has now been replaced.
Now the county executive wants to give the facility a more than $17 million overhaul. And tonight, Brent Solomon is digging into what advocates say the shelter needs to be better equipped in the future.
Well, the county is once again operating its own shelter. The Animal Protection Association was running it, but decided last fall to part ways. Months later, there was a Parvo outbreak. The shelter also failed 3 rounds of inspections before getting its license back. The county's health director, who only sat down with me, says after all that's gone down this year, they're turning things around.
Of course, I didn't agree with, that number of dogs being euthanized.
It's a candid conversation with the head of St. Louis County's health department.
It was devastating.
Dr. Kanika Cunningham opening up about the euthanizations her former veterinary director ordered here at the county's Animal Care and Control Shelter in Olivet.
There were 3 to 4 dogs I was aware of that was actually declining.
A Parvo outbreak that started in April quickly spreading. What would start as just a few dogs being put down eventually jumped to 19. Cunningham says the vet director did it without her knowledge. In May, Douglas Pernikoff would resign. When it comes to Parvo,
you're going to have some Parvo at a shelter. It's in the environment, it's in the soil. It can live in the soil for a year, but for it to spread the way it did to that many dogs.
Animal welfare advocate Shannon Latsky says the disease is treatable with the right resources.
The standard treatment that's always been kind of the gold standard is where they're hospitalized in a veterinarian clinic, and they're given fluids and palliative care, and we watch their diet and all that kind of thing, and different medications that can be given, and that has a really high success rate.
She also points to other options like foster care until the animals are whole again. Pernikoff told county council members necessary medication was too costly and it was difficult to isolate the first dog when it got sick.
They started to use a garage as a place of isolation. That was the only space we were able to have to separate dogs. And of course, we were still bringing in more animals. And what happened, we had to use the hallway sometimes too.
Cunningham says the outbreak exposed a need to rethink things.
We learned a lot. We don't have proper isolation or quarantine areas. We didn't have access to medications readily available or the proper equipment to be able to provide, sub-Q IV fluids.
County Executive Sam Page now working to convince County Council to approve $17.8 million in RAM settlement money to address critical needs. Infrastructure improvements, retrofitting the vet office and exam rooms, larger kennels. As the shelter awaits the council's vote, Cunningham already has a game plan.
We did mock inspections at our all staff meetings. We made sure that staff was aware of proper kennel spacing and sizing. When people bring in dogs, we have to make sure they're in a proper size kennels. And we've been cited historically for that.
And she says, ramped up procedures to properly clean and disinfect the shelter.
It almost sounds like an overhaul.
Yeah, it is.
In many ways.
It is. And you do have, some of our long-term staff who have decided to resign because they don't like the direction that we're going.
It's the price paid to shift gears. A renewed sense of determination and intention, now fueling the drive to get on the right track.
I'm not going to lead a health department in which we're not providing quality care, whether you're human or animals. I'm just not going to go back there.
Another problem they're addressing, staff not vaccinating new animals that are brought in before they're exposed to animals already at the shelter. Cunningham also says there's a big focus right now on getting in more volunteers. And they just launched a foster program to help ease overcrowding. You can watch my full interview with the health director when you click on this story on KSDK.com.